Welcome to After the Show, your weekly movie podcast brought to you by A. Scully and Sid Talk. We're addicted to movies. Are you? Hello there, Sid Talk. Welcome to After the Show. How are you?
Thought you were going to say blast off.
Blast off. Oh, yeah, we do a countdown before the show. Because we're like important. We have to have a countdown.
We're very intense. I'm fine. I'm well. My hand is cold, but I'm good.
I mean, it's not cold today.
Mm-mm.
What are you, cold-blooded?
No. Then you'd be married to a lizard woman. But that'd be all right.
Yeah, it would. Be slimy and slippery.
Okay, this is not what they came here for. The before the after the show discussion did not include lizard talk or coldness. You were doing your thing. I was doing mine. Checking the plants. Checking the plants. I like to do a bit of yardening, as I call it. I didn't invent that term. If you look on the internet, you'll find it. I just do some gardening in my yard. And I have a couple thousand seedlings now that are living outside. And it's, it's, what's it called? Empty nest syndrome is happening. Separation anxiety. So I had to go check the plants.
They're outside now for good. They're never coming in again.
Yeah, listen to you. That's very cold-hearted of you.
It is.
I wouldn't bring them back anyway. They're toughened up. They're good to go, but they need me to stare at them every once in a while.
All right, it's Saturday, April the 29th. This is After the Show. We're a movie review podcast. And on episode 785, we're looking at the movie Ant-Man and the Wasp, Quantumania. It's a 2023 release. It's out now on Blu-ray, streaming, 4K, wherever you can get 4Ks. It's rated PG-13 from our friends at Disney and Marvel. They sent us a code for review. Sid Talk, can you give us a synopsis of Ant-Man and the Wasp, Quantumania?
Superheroes go to the quantum realm where there's a very bad guy and really interesting creatures. And once again, they have to kind of sort of maybe save the world.
I'll give you the one off the box.
Oh, I was reading off the box.
You were, kind of. It says Scott Lang and Hope Van Dyne are dragged into the quantum realm, along with Hope's parents and Scott's daughter Cassie. Together, they must find a way to escape. But what secrets is Hope's mother hiding? And who is the mysterious Kang?
Oh, so just name him, just right there on the box.
Yeah.
All right.
Ant-Man and the Wasp Quantumania, the 31st Marvel movie in the MCU. What did you think?
I enjoyed it. The end.
The end.
This is the end, my friend. It was fine. It was enjoyable. It is a story with a lot of holes. And so I'm not usually the one sitting there picking at the holes, but I'm a scab picker. I'll say that to the world. And so I saw a few scabs in the plot, and I was like picking the whole time.
What plot holes are we referring to?
Well, if we're going to talk about a guy, so we've already said Kang. So Kang is the traveler. He's the guy who's in charge. Okay, you have to be a Marvel person, I guess, to understand there's multiverses and timelines and blah, blah, blah. And everything is crisscrossing itself all the time, constantly, with billions of timelines, billions of options of everything that's happening. Quantum, all the way from quantum up to, the multiverse, as I said. Right. So there's a guy who can see all of that and control all of that. He's very, very, very powerful. He can mess with timelines. He can destroy worlds. He can destroy entire dimensions of worlds. So, he's very powerful.
He could end everything if he wanted to.
Yeah. And so now, at some point in the past, I forget who did it. I don't remember if it was Loki or who it was, or Doctor Strange, who zapped him to the quantum realm, right?
Yes.
And I don't remember if we saw that happen or if this is another time. I don't know the timeline. Anyway, he's in the quantum realm. If you don't know what the quantum realm is, if you've ever heard of quantum physics, it's like taking everything we've ever learned in third grade about atoms and the nucleus of an atom and electrons and neutrons and going like a billion times smaller than that. Like what's happening inside of there, right? What's happening inside, like so small and tiny. That's where the quantum realm is. In that world, or in that layer of the world that we know, this guy's trapped, quote unquote.
Yeah.
And so is Michelle Pfeiffer. And Bill Murray, by the way. And there's creatures and there's worlds and societies in that whole world as well. It's just like a whole place, right?
It's something we've never seen before.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So he's so powerful that he can end all timelines of all existence. He's not Thanos. He doesn't need to get a glove. He doesn't need any of that shit. Apparently, he's just that powerful, right?
He can just do it. Yeah. Nothing needed.
So there's no bloody reason why he's trapped in the quantum realm. And no one in the entire movie, other than saying he needs this little glowy ball.
He needs the glowy ball to get out.
He doesn't. He only needs the glowy ball to make that ship work to go and leap from multiverse to multiverse, from one universe or dimension of the multiverse to another. That's all that ship is for. It's not. See, this is getting me hot under the collar. It's not for moving from the quantum realm and out and out, in and out, in and out. There's nothing holding him back. He's so powerful. He can just flick his finger and like crush you to death. And he can flick his finger, and obviously he's created an entire empire in this quantum realm over the time that he's been trapped in there, right? So yeah, that's a problem for me.
Because he did say that
nobody said anything. So he
said
no,
that he was trapped because of his ship not working. He can't leave the quantum realm. The ship is the way of getting out to anywhere else.
No. The ship is not for going to the quantum realm.
No, it isn't. It's for getting... If he needs to travel anywhere that is not the quantum realm, he needs the ship.
I disagree. That's not what he said. That is not exactly how it was explained. He was shot. The ship is only for going from one dimension to another. He's just trapped here, but he's super powerful. Let's keep this in mind. Then all of a sudden, near the end, he's not powerful anymore. He's just beating the shit out of Ant-Man like a dude, like two dudes fighting. So his little suit that he's wearing and the little power charger on his arm, no one explained. I mean, I forget what his whole power deal is or where his power come from. He's just a dude. There's never a real explanation. And if you just buy it and you just go, oh yeah, that's why he's stuck there, that's fine. But it's not. It's like really bugged me the whole time. Yeah. All they needed was one sentence. That would be like, if he travels back into the regular, out of the quantum realm, that he'll be ripped apart particle by particle and he'll never be able to get back together unless he's in his ship. He didn't say that. So, yeah. Other than that, I enjoyed it.
Yeah. This is the third Ant-Man movie, and I really like how the Ant-Man movies are kind of, they're comedies as well as being Marvel movies, mainly because of Paul Rudd, right? He's funny.
I mean, there's a tiny bit of comedy. You kind of know it's coming every now and then.
There's less comedy in this one than there was in the previous two.
Yeah, for sure.
Because you're dealing with a major villain, and it is a serious stakes, they can't be as silly as they have been.
Also, doesn't make any sense. I think you're just, I don't know, because every villain that a superhero needs to come up against means multiple deaths, suffering, loss of all kinds of things. So injecting comedy isn't really about the threat, is it? It's just about making it more entertaining, I guess.
Yeah, and making it more Marvel-y, let's say. Because there's often like one-liners and funny stuff in Marvel movies. There is in this one, but it's less so. I really like the movie, but I have this problem with it. It's different to your problem.
Okay.
The problem feels that, to me, like the whole movie is inconsequential in terms of the whole Marvel thing. I mean, yes, it sets up a thing, but as a movie on its own, it doesn't really do anything.
Hold on. What's it setting up, A. Scully?
It's setting up the Kang dynasty, which they're calling it. So Kang's going to be the next big villain, like Thanos. They're going to build like 8 or 9 movies around the Kang thing. And this is the beginning of it. And yes, it does open the door for Kang to wreak havoc. But as far as it being a story in itself, it doesn't feel like it's itself. It feels like it's just, here's a thing so we can tell you what's going to happen next.
Well, it also explains his absence, if there is his absence, because even if we've watched everything Marvel, and I still don't fully understand where this fit in the timeline. It's after the snap, because they talk about people disappearing for 5 years, right?
Yeah. It's after Loki.
Right, because Loki's looking for him, but then you have to have watched Loki to know.
Yeah.
So is Loki and them the ones that sent him to the quantum realm? I don't remember.
Yes.
Okay.
Loki and who was with Loki in that room?
I don't remember.
You know, the Time Authority or whatever they called.
Yeah.
In Loki. It's the Time Authority and Loki have sent
Just so you know, if you're not fully into the Marvel universe, if we talk about it, we're going to sound like crazy-ish people. Like we're seeing worlds that don't exist and making up shit. No, we didn't make it up. Somebody else did. So we're just talking about it. But yeah, when you say the Time Authority,
I think they call it like the TVC or something.
They're in charge of all those timelines.
Yeah. So yeah, that's how he got sent there. But if you hadn't watched Loki, which is not a main movie, it's just a TV show that they do, you wouldn't know that.
Correct.
So they can't assume you know it. So I do feel there are details left out of this movie.
I think they're getting to where they're less resting on their laurels or on
they
their
just assume you know
loyals.
everything.
Yeah, they assume you're a loyal fan and you've watched everything and you know everything, and so they can shortcut their way through a little bit.
And there's got to be people who drop in and out of the Marvel universe. They watch this and that, and then they miss 3 films, and then they come back. So what do those people feel like? Because they're missing major things, right, you know?
You'd have to be saying, who's that? What are they talking about?
Yeah.
You know,
just all the way through the movie.
Yeah. I would think.
That doesn't sound like fun. Is that maybe why Marvel movies are getting less viewers? Because people are confused. There's too many of them.
I don't think so.
I'll tell you what, we just have to watch all the Marvel movies so we know everything. Well, you've got to watch 31 movies and 10 TV shows.
You know, you just said there's 31 movies.
Right.
Even I think it's getting a little boring. Like, I get it. The world's at threat. The universe is at threat. These people have some superpowers. It's the same superpowers every time. It's the same kind of threat every time. Ultimate destruction of what we know and blah, blah, blah. And the humans are dead or the galaxy's at risk. And then somebody's going to swoop in and do a thing and zap a thing and crush a thing. And then we'll be okay. Right? That's all it is, over and over with the same people and the same bad guys. We kind of expand, but really it's always the same. We're all in the same universe. So I would say could be dwindling, because if it wasn't for you, I wouldn't keep watching them. I wouldn't make the effort to keep watching them. I would be seeking out other kinds of entertainment. So that could be part of it.
I thoroughly enjoy Marvel as much as I enjoy Star Wars, you know? It's not a guilty pleasure. It's a pleasure.
It also didn't exist until it existed. And so the next thing that exists,
I'll enjoy that too.
It could be a new Twilight Zone, not Twilight Zone, Twin Peaks. But if you just keep only making room for this big thing, and that kind of fills the space, kind of, so to speak, you know what I mean, in your mind and people's monies and their availability of going to the movies. Or like you said, if you want to watch movies, you got to catch up. But if all of a sudden you see, hey, here's a new weird movie to watch or something new,
which is what we do. We personally
yeah.
watch all kinds of things, right?
Correct.
But the mainstream audience, they're kind of caught up in we watch Marvel movies, we watch Star Wars movies, we watch Lord of the Rings, whatever, right? Whatever's the big thing.
Right, because if you've already paid $70 to $100 to $300 for your family to go see movies or buy DVDs or whatever, and then you're standing in the store or you're looking online for what more to buy so we can have stuff to watch all weekend or whatever, familiarity probably is easier to spend your money on. Yeah,
exactly. You know you're probably going to have fun watching a Marvel movie. And that is true. I had fun watching this movie. But like I say, not my favorite Ant-Man movie. I don't think Ant-Man gets utilized enough.
Well, I thought it was a lot. I was like, whoa, big, little, big, little, big, little.
Like it's about family. It's like Fast and the Furious in that way,
well,
this one.
Not quite as intensely, but sure.
But yeah, it's a family unit. And Kang was a good villain. But again, I feel like it's just it's about an eighth of the first chapter of his deal. Like, you don't really get that much of him. I mean, he's in there. He says some interesting stuff. He has a fight. That's kind of disappointing to me, like you said, because he is really powerful.
Yep.
And we end up just having the standard Marvel, we're in a room, let's fight him.
Yeah, like a James Bond or a Bourne fight, just beating the crap out of each other.
Yeah, like we've suddenly forgot that we do superpowers and we'll just have a fight.
Yeah.
So that was a bit disappointing because I'm like, well, Ant-Man can be massive, which he does. I mean, he does that in this movie. But I mean, he can be huge, and we could have had a huge Godzilla fight. Kang could have turned huge. Kang can do what he wants, right?
Keep in mind, they're not huge. They're in the quantum realm.
Right, true.
So
but
they're
big in the quantum realm.
They're so atomic. They're less than atomically small. So the reference points for us are weird buildings and structures and creatures that to us don't have a real scale. We don't understand that that's a 50-story building that Ant-Man is standing next to. It's just a weird structure with a bunch of guns coming out of it. It could be 5 feet tall. It could be 500 feet tall. So him being big and the small is fine because he's then up against the normal sized character. So you can see that, right? So that was where I was like, oh, he's getting big again, but it's kind of hard to tell until he rams into something. But then boom, he's small again.
I mean, he's like going to normal size, I'm assuming, when he gets big.
No.
Because they're small, right?
He's not normal size because they're in the quantum realm.
Our size.
No. In the quantum realm, they're all so atomically small they barely exist.
Yeah, they're like.
So he's not any size that we can comprehend.
Right.
Listen to me. I'm scientifically diagnosed talking to you.
And it is fun when he's huge and he's running around and things are getting smashed. This whole movie as well, one thing I had to mention is it's literally CG front to back.
Mm-hmm.
Like there's not really many scenes where you're not looking at a wholly like CG generated thing. And there's interesting characters throughout the movie, interesting like species you've never seen before.
Very. I love that part. It's like Star Trek to me. Like, ooh.
Yeah, but like really like you said, it's like a dude with like gravity going around him and
like he's a rock, like an asteroid, and then there's just like rocks floating around his head, like his head has gravity.
Yeah. And we've never been to the quantum universe in the Marvel movies, so everything we see is pretty new, like everything.
Right. When we were there, it was just this desolate looking, weird, subatomic looking place. Yeah. And now it's like a whole world.
So everything's new. Every species you come up against, like that one that's talking about holes.
Yeah.
I love the design of that.
He's like a lump of goo. And when he meets Ant-Man, he's like, you have holes, like, because his mouth is a hole, and this guy is just like a solid gelatinous lump. And he's like, how many holes do you have? And then he gets a hole, and he's like, I have a hole. And then what happens? He's like a black hole.
Yeah,
he can suck things into it.
I mean, it's
so
pretty,
that was fun.
Yeah, I found that fun. It reminded me of Guardians of the Galaxy when they go to a weird place, and you're like, holy crap, what is all this stuff? So yeah, you see some interesting alien races. They're not alien races. They're quantum races. And you see Kang's army, which I liked. There's a really interesting scene. It's kind of like a little heist where he has to go and get the thing. And it involves ants. And it's like an anthill. Well, it is an anthill. Did you like that scene?
Oh, that was kind of dumb.
Well, I liked it. It all came together. It was ants. You had to use the ants to get on top of the thing.
No,
to get the thing.
They weren't ants. They were him.
Yeah, they were him, but he's also Ant-Man.
I know, but they weren't ants. The ants didn't. The ants I thought were
they behave like ants.
The ants to me were kind of dumb as well, but I understand it's the Ant-Man and blah blah blah. But the ants coming to the rescue and being sort of like the champions of technology. Ugh. Yeah, I just didn't like that part. But I don't have to love it all.
Stay after the credits. There are 2 end scenes that lead into whatever's coming next. Looks like it's going to be Loki season 2. So definitely stay tuned. I would say stay tuned after any Marvel movie because they always throw something at you, don't they?
Always.
So let's get on to the cast here. We've got Paul Rudd as Scott Lang, reprising the role more than 3 times because he's been in the Avengers movie too. So what do you think?
60% of the time, I like him 100% of the time.
Exactly.
Or maybe not 100, but you get what I'm saying.
Yes.
Anyone in the know knows what I'm saying. He's fine. He's funny. I
feel like he's perfect for Ant-Man.
He's very specific.
Yeah. Sarcastic and
always.
Yeah.
Even when he's trying to be serious and he's like, don't ever touch like my daughter again. Cause he kind of tries to kind of like kill her, but I feel like as soon as he said that, he giggled and I'm like, I can't take you seriously, dude. You're going to have to do something that bumps up the drama side of you just for those key moments where you're just like, oh shit, he's not funny anymore. He's mad, right? I didn't catch that.
Well, I think he did a good job in Avengers Endgame because he was the one who saved everything, basically. And that beginning part of Avengers Endgame, he really gave some emotion and he wasn't being funny.
I don't recall.
He was trapped in the quantum realm when the snap happened.
Right.
So he got back and he was the one who had to go and tell the Avengers and everything and tell whoever's left. Basically, if he wouldn't have been trapped in the quantum realm, it wouldn't have been we wouldn't have saved the day, let's say. That's why he was bragging about it at the beginning around the dinner table.
But that's more of a character thing than a Paul Rudd thing.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I like him for how he is. It's just that needs to be kind of fine-tuned a little bit so that when the time comes, I feel like, just like with certain villains, some of them are cartoony. Even this guy could be a little bit like, he walks up like Darth Vader with his cape blowing in the wind. I'm like, why do you have a cape?
I thought this guy kind of came across as a evil Shakespeare.
Yes, kind of intense.
Yeah.
But there were moments of flickering pure. His isn't even like evil, if you want to call it. His is like neutrality. None of you understand that I don't care about any of this.
And I've seen everything.
And I've destroyed entire universes. So killing this teenage girl because you're crying at me does not affect me. I got that vibe from him now and then. And that is the moment when you're like, oh shit, you could be a mustache twirler the rest of the time and a little over the top. But when the air gets sucked out of the room and you say shit like, oh yeah, oh, okay. He's not even like Thanos, whereas Thanos thought he had a mission, a clear vision to make things better. I know, controversial, but that is what he wanted, was to clean out the universe a little bit, give us a bit of a enema, get rid of everybody so that we could start again. This guy just doesn't care about anything. And he has the power, clearly not just enough to get out of the quantum realm, but he wants to just, I'm not sure yet if he wants to, he said it's best to just get rid of everything and start over. And I'm like, oh, I'm convinced.
His actual title is Kang the Conqueror.
Right.
I mean, he doesn't need to conquer things, does he?
That's what I'm saying. If we're confused about how much power this creature actually has.
Evangeline Lilly plays Hope Van Dyne. What do you think of her?
She's pretty understated. I kind of liked that.
You know what? I liked her more after seeing her on the Jonathan Ross interview show the other week.
Sure, yeah.
She's a bit more sassy than I thought she was in real life.
She's a bit of a rebel.
Yeah, I really enjoyed her on that. But I liked her in this one.
Yeah, I like that it felt like she was intentionally not the star of the show, and yet her participation is valuable. It's just that she's like settled in every scene. I like.
Yeah, because the Ant-Man and the Wasp, the one when she was introduced, that was her movie pretty much. I mean, it was about her. This one's not about her.
And also, you have Michelle Pfeiffer right there as your mother.
Yeah, exactly.
So overdoing it might seem a bit, you know what I mean?
Talking to Michelle Pfeiffer, she plays Janet Van Dyne, or Dyne. What do you think? I like Michelle Pfeiffer a lot.
I do too. I like watching her, and you read a quote from her that she thinks she can't act. That she's not very good. Like someone will find out that she's faking her way through. But what I like about her is she feels like she's taking that moment seriously. And even if it's not super deep emotion, I mean, that's just when you're watching her, you're not completely locked into the mother-daughter relationship, right? I mean, she was away for 30 years and all that, but I still like just her.
I like how badass of a character she is.
Yeah, she did.
I liked her outfit that she looked like somebody from Star Wars actually when she was walking.
But that's not a Michelle Pfeiffer feature.
No, but it's a feature of how they wrote her. She's like just a badass. Like, I like the whole story of her and Kang as well. It was interesting.
It was interesting.
Yeah. Like, because we knew she was missing, but we just didn't know the whole details. You get to find that out here. Jonathan Majors as Kang. We talked about him quite a lot at the beginning.
Yeah.
He's pretty good. It's questionable whether we don't know, do we, if he'll continue to be Kang.
I think that's irrelevant to the movie itself. But
it is.
We'll have to wait and see.
This is a weird one. Catherine Newton as Cassie Lang. This is his daughter. Now, you might notice that, and I noticed straight away, that the last movie, his daughter was a different actress. And there was no particular reason for them swapping her out. I like this one, but I also like the other one, so it's weird.
But here's the deal. I didn't notice, and I don't know that everyone would notice.
100%. Like, I was like, who the hell is that? Is that somebody else? Did they have
to explain it to you just because they change actresses?
I just don't understand sometimes why when they don't need to.
Maybe she's gone to college. I mean, we don't know, right? We have no idea. Maybe she hated it.
I know a bit more about it. That they just didn't hire her again, and she was kind of like, oh, okay. I mean,
maybe she was terrible to work with.
Maybe.
We don't know. I don't know that. I don't know that.
Talking of terrible to work with, Bill Murray as Lord Kryler.
I mean, we only hear what other people say. We don't know. We don't want to add to the rumors because we don't know. But
Bill Murray was quite funny here. I liked him.
Oh, I thought he was really boring.
Oh, I kind of liked him.
I just thought he was the same kind of like Saturday night weirdo character that could have been anyone who would have been so much better.
I liked his entrance.
Yeah, but that's not him.
He basically brought his ship into the restaurant.
Right, but he didn't add anything. Seriously. I mean, and I've been a fan of Bill Murray in the past, but he just literally did nothing interesting except that snarky Bill Murray thing, which I don't find that super appealing anymore. So I would have been happy for that to have been loads of other people.
I did like the snarky, like, because she's been in there for 30 years and Michael Douglas is kind of like suspicious of him. Like, oh, has he been going with...
Well, Michael Douglas is Michelle Pfeiffer's husband. Yeah. Michelle Pfeiffer was in the quantum realm for 30 years. She obviously had a relationship with Bill Murray's character because she said, I had needs. You know, I was alone for a long time. So that's just, but I felt like that was really cheap. And
it was funny.
I didn't think it was funny at all. I think
yeah.
Your standards are very low.
I just really enjoyed it. Directed by Peyton Reed. He also directed Ant-Man and a few episodes of Mandalorian. He's right up there with the big stuff. What do you think of the direction?
I feel like these kinds of movies are a packaged deal. And as a director, you are a big project manager. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't know that there's a vision that you're bringing very, very, very specifically, unless it's like a James Gunn who completely does a thing, right? And then like tries to patch it back together his way. I don't feel like this had any particular stamp of personality or anything.
No, it was similar to the other Ant-Man movies, but he also directed those. So IMDb reviews, what are those?
So reviews on IMDb.
Yes.
1 out of 5 stars is what these people give these movies, and you love to go read what they say.
Yeah. So here are the people who didn't like this movie and give it the 1 out of 10. It's out of 10, by the way, not 5.
Oh, 1 out of 10.
So the first guy says, Marvel is tired and lazy universe. As the years go by, it's obvious that Marvel are sucking on quality. Kevin Feige, who heads up Marvel, is the grandmaster of smoke and mirrors. Marvel appears doomed as it heads into Phase 5. I wasted 2 hours of my time.
Oh, classic. I forgot to warn everyone. There's some classic reviews out there.
I always try and find one that says that.
Waste of time. Waste of my life, people have said. What's another one? Oh, worst movie ever made.
Yeah. Talking of that, this guy says literal garbage.
Literal garbage.
I don't like this movie and its weird, pointless, bad language. They take God's name in vain. Typical anti-Christian Hollywood trash.
Oh my goodness. Seriously?
And then he finishes with, I'm surprised that Ant-Man doesn't come out as trans at the end. There's always one of them too, usually.
One, probably multiples. It's like a campaign. I mean, you can say whatever you want, but your interpretation of the situation might possibly be filtered by your political and or religious beliefs, and you're not aware of it. So I'm telling you, that's what's happening.
This one says, this is the best Star Wars ripoff in Marvel history. It takes the MCU for Disney to give us a decent Star Wars movie. Kang is Emperor Palpatine, MODOK is Darth Vader, Ant-Man is Han Solo. Practically every character plays a stand-in from Star Wars. They even rip off the cantina scene. LOL.
I mean, do you see that?
No. MODOK is Darth Vader? You're kidding me. You're kidding.
No, not MODOK.
No.
I think of Kang walking up that plank and they started his feet and pan up with his skirt capey thing flowing and he's got his arms crossed, you know. That's more of a Darth Vader reference.
MODOK was supposed to be a bit of a joke kind of thing, but it looked awful.
It looked really bad.
I mean,
and it wasn't funny. It was really lame.
It looked like somebody just like went in like Photoshop, stretched out an image and stuck it in the hole.
Yes.
Yeah.
I was totally baffled. Like, am I missing something?
I thought it was like, maybe they've made it look crappy because it's supposed to be stupid. Because MODOK's a bit of a joke.
Don't give them an excuse.
In the comics, MODOK comes across as like he's an evil thing, but he's also stupid. Like it's
like a Dalek.
Yeah, kind of, yeah. So
I mean, they're evil and everything, but like they can't, in the olden days, they couldn't actually chase you anywhere, like over rocks or stairs or anything, but
yeah,
they seem to be terrifying.
Terrifying, but they can't go upstairs.
I thought he was really awful, and I was like, what?
Yeah.
Why are we bringing back this character that I completely forgot even existed?
Yeah, I'm glad they did the flashback because I'd forgot him too.
Yeah.
Finally.
However, I did like her advice to him.
Yeah.
Just stop being a dick.
Yeah.
Was the theme of the whole movie. Like, you have a choice. You can always stop being a dick.
Yeah.
That
was the theme of the whole
movie.
That's
fair advice.
And it literally says it to you in the middle.
I liked it.
So extras, we watched the streaming version. There are a few extras, blooper reel, making of, etc. Let's give this movie a score. I'm going to give Ant-Man and the Wasp, Quantumania, a 6 out of 10.
I'll give it a 7. I feel like it's right in there, not super average, because I really love the world of the quantum realm.
Yeah.
The effort made to make all the weird, and all the weird ones weren't even featured. They're just in the background.
You had to keep looking, didn't you?
Yeah. If you were looking close, you're like, is that a person with the head made out of crystals or quartz or something? And then over there is like the guy with the, like you said, does he have like a sun that's trapped inside of this tube of his head? And he's kind of like a robot, but he's not. And he's British. British, wasn't he?
Yeah.
Like, that's all fascinating to me. So that bumps up my interest. And the world itself, really cool. So I'm giving it a solid 7.
All right. So thank you to Marvel and Disney. Next week, we're going to be looking at the movie Scream 6. That's a new...
What?
Scream is back.
We just watched Scream again.
We watched Scream last year, and now we get a new one. So
what?
Scream 6 next year. Next week.
next year, next week, whatever.
I'm assuming we won't see Dewey, my favorite.
Well, are you spoiling me?
Scream 5. Yeah. I'm spoiling.
Never
Scream
mind.
5.
No. Don't tell people. Let them deal with, unless they listen to our review, which I'm sure we talked about.
Maybe you'll be in it, though. You never know.
You never know.
Movie recommendations this week. I am going for the Paul Rudd movie, I Love You Man. Slapping the bass. You know that one?
Yeah, I'm the one who told you that's where that was from.
It's very funny, that movie. I like it.
I don't remember all the things about movies, not what you do, but you bring up a weird reference and you're like, what is that from? And I'm like, you know that one with the two dudes who are like friends? And you're like, that's it.
Yeah, Slapping the Bass. And the other one is Michelle Pfeiffer in a movie called Mother! ! I like to recommend that movie whenever I can.
She was in that?
Darren Aronofsky. Yeah, she came round. She's like, she's actually credited as woman in the movie.
I don't remember her in that.
Yeah, she's in it. Yeah.
I need to revisit. I mean, Mother's not the type of movie you really watch multiple times. I loved it because it's weird.
Yeah,
like
it's
really
very
weird, which is a good thing to me and stimulating and interesting. But for some reason, I forgot that detail.
It gives you anxiety. That
it does give you anxiety. Yes.
And yours are?
Mine are going back to the early I started with the year 2000 and moving forward in time with science fiction movies. We are up to 2011. We have Battle Los Angeles, which I actually liked. I think you liked it too.
I like that, but what I don't like is all shaky cam the entire movie.
Yeah, true.
Yeah.
But I like that it's from a point of view that you don't normally see alien invasion movies from.
Yeah.
And then I didn't realize that Black Mirror started in 2011.
Yeah, and
that's a long time.
It's got a new season coming in July.
Black Mirror is a British science fiction tale of, what would you say, like morality tales about technology and stuff.
Yeah.
It's kind of like Twilight Zone, but a modern version. Then we have Captain America, the First Avenger.
Yeah.
Cowboys and Aliens.
Horrible.
I don't think it was horrible. Extinction of the GMO Chronicles, which was kind of speaking of 1-star reviews, just as I was looking up this movie, because I'm like, I think I remember it. I watch a lot of, I like zombie movies of any kind, any quality. This one, the first sentence of this review is, I don't know what to say about this atrocity of a film.
Did you watch it on Netflix?
Yes, back in the day. So it's just a generic, there's been a virus and someone has to fix it. And the guy comes across a group of people who just happen to be the right collection, like a nurse and a scientist and an FBI. Yeah. So it's very formulaic, but it was probably kind of grim and gross looking, which I kind of enjoy. And I can't remember if it was a foreign language to me. It might have been. I like those as well. So I think that was it.
All right. So A Scully stuff. Well, I bought a new device this week. It's a portable gaming device from Amazon. I mean, you can get it on other retailers, but that's where I managed to get it from. So it's like, it actually looks almost identical to the original Game Boy from back in the day. So it's from a company called Anbernic, and it's called the Anbernic RG35XX. It's got a really catchy name. It goes from, the prices of it are all over the place. It goes from like $43 to about $90, depending on which buyer you get it from. But what it is, it's a little device. It looks like an original Game Boy, but it plays ROMs. And if you don't know what ROMs are, they're, digital versions of cartridge games that you have played in the past. So it emulates like all the different systems from the Atari onwards until the PlayStation 1. So it'll play games from those eras, everything. And it's not like it might play one game and another game might not work properly. It is officially plays all of those games. So that's tens of thousands of games you can literally put on an SD card and play them in it. It comes with a bunch of games. I think it comes with 6,000 games. Obviously, that's not legit Nintendo Game Boy games, for instance. You can dump them onto your PC and play those ROMs on your PC or on this device. Anyway, this device is awesome. You put your games on an SD card, you boot it up. It's got a cool menu where it's got all the different systems you can emulate, and you pick the one you want to play a game from. And then you play a game, and as you're playing the game, it's always saving the game. So you don't have to worry about like saving. You can turn it on and off whenever you want. And when you turn it back on, it's exactly where you left off in the game you was playing. It's also got like a history thing. So you can, if you play it in 10 games, it remembers all the 10 that you're playing. And it's just really neat. It's made me this week want to play like so many different retro games. I've already got a bunch of games on my PC already, but I've been playing them this way. I find it really handy. It's got a D-pad, 4 buttons, and it's pretty nifty. There are so many different devices like this out there. Some of them are like Android-based, but this one's based on the emulator called RetroArch, which is like a free download on the web. You can have a look at that. Plays everything perfectly that I've played so far, including like Sega CD games, which are like, I had a Sega CD back in the day, and those were the games that were kind of full motion video, like movies. And I had a game on there called The X-Files, which I loved. It's like an episode of The X-Files, but you choose your own adventure kind of thing. And even that works good on it. So it's called the Anbernic RG35XX. You can get it on Amazon and many other places, including AliExpress. It's clearly a product made in China. So what's for dinner?
Pasta with pesto. Pasta with pesto and some vegetables. I'm going to do a home cook today.
Nice.
Not homemade pasta, just out of a package.
And what's for dessert? Oh, we never asked that.
Do I have dessert? Maybe I should go get something.
We have some raisins.
I do like those little pies. So I might go get a little pumpkin pie.
And what's your advice? Your advice is really long today.
It is long. But that's kind of
strap in, everybody.
That's how I am. So I know this about myself. I do not like fuss over me. And if you're the type of person that I am, it's a cornerstone of my personality. I do not ask for help when I do not need help. If I need it, I will ask you. People get offended by this. When I say, this is a good example. The other day, I'm painting a thing, helping out my mom at a place. and I'm painting it. I'm over by myself. I don't like to be part of the chaos of multiple people doing a project. I'm like, I'll just take this picnic table over here by myself in the yard. I'll get the cans of paint. I'll just do it by myself. I'm totally fine with that. And I do a good job and I pay attention to the details. And so, I'm cool. I'm good. Someone comes over with a roller and a pan. Oh, I've come over here because I see you over here all by yourself. And I thought I better come over and help you. And I'm like, nope, I'm good. I've got it. I've got everything laid out, figured out how I'm going to do it. And she literally kind of cocked her head back and dropped her shoulders. And she was like, oh, okay. Well, okay. And walked away. Right. She's not asking to help me, right? She's fussing and she's asking me to help to feel important or needed. And you can argue with me about this. That's cool. But that's the truth. When you say to someone who's genuinely asked you for help, no, thank you. I got it. I'm good. I got it all figured out here. I've got my plans all laid out. And I was very friendly about it. I wasn't like snotty. If the person genuinely is wanting to help you, they'll be like, okay, that's cool. Cool. Well, if you need anything, let me know. And then they'll walk away. That's genuinely wanting to help you solve a problem. The person who gets irritated with you when you don't want their help that you didn't ask for. This also irritates me. When they're irritated with you for not letting them suffocate you with their glorious, helpful attitude, they're not doing it to help you, right? So I'm not into that. I think that's just bullshit. Getting angry because someone doesn't want your help. And I've actually had people say, well, then fine. When you do need help, don't come to me.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, I'm not even kidding. There's this attitude. There's a personality, right? My personality is, and because you've been married to me a quarter of a century almost. If I ask you for help, I actually really need it. And that's when I need it. And if you can't, or you don't want to, or whatever at that time, that's cool. I can deal with that. Some people feel like they have to just constantly interact with everybody and care for everybody. And, let me open that for you.
I think
let
that's
me hold
like
that for
most people.
You reckon?
Yeah. From what I've experienced, most people, I don't know.
Isn't that like suffocating? Like you're so incompetent, I have to come and help you. And if you don't want my help, then I'm going to be mad at you attitude?
Yeah, it's like they have to be part of everything.
Yeah, and feel important. Like they're more valued. They need to be valued by volunteering themselves to help you, right? That they're very important then because they're helping you. Instead of like, hey, so-and-so, I'm painting this table over here. Would you like to come help me? I could use a little bit of help, right? That would be my approach when I do understand that I can't accomplish something on my own. Because I'm very thoughtful about what I'm doing and my limitations. I will push myself to the limit of how many bags of groceries can I carry up the stairs, as you will attest to. Over the years, I've learned to accept your help because it's like you can't help yourself. And I just am like, whatever, he's going to bounce down the stairs and bounce right up with all the groceries. Fair enough, right? But in the world, I just want people who are like me to know it's okay to be irritated about that because it's exhausting. I mean, it depletes your resources of your mind and your mood when you go out into a group situation or a place and it's just like this, I don't know how to describe it without sounding super hateful and bitchy. But here we go. It's like, it's like a fly buzzing around you, and you're like, just go. I'm good. Just go away, fly. Go over there and like fly around with your other fly friends or whatever. It is a true personality trait. And that all being said, it's a personality trait of some people to just feel compelled, like they need you to like them. They need to feel needed. They need to feel like they're doing a thing and it's important to constantly help people. I'm pretty sure that's either DNA or mostly learned because my thing is I've learned to assist people and to step back and watch the situation and go, oh, okay. My mom is 81 and she was trying to put a very heavy object on a tarp when we're also doing this thing. And then she bent over and she's kind of pulling the tarp and she's pulling it. And I'm standing there. I'm watching. My sister's also watching. And then these other people, oh, Sandra, let us help you with that. And my mom's like, I'm good. See, this is where I probably get it. I've got, mom's like, I'm good. I'm strong. I can do this. I'm being careful. And the person's like, oh no, we want you to stay strong. And she literally takes it out of my mom's hand. And my sister and I kind of look at each other like, And my mom was like, she was very gracious. Okay, thank you. But I could feel it in her voice. Like, why are you doing this? I didn't ask you for help, right? So I know I come by it naturally. And even my mother, later in the day, there were heavy objects that she knew she couldn't handle. And she would ask my nephew or one of us or someone to help her or to do it for her. She knows the balance. I know the balance. It's the fuss people. And by fuss, I'm saying Fuss, like Frank, Uncle Sam, Sam. If you're not understanding the word I'm using, not everyone knows the word fuss, you know. It's fuss, 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 fuss. Oh. Sorry, I didn't help you open that door when you've just come through the door and you're like, I got it. I'm good, right? It's exhausting. So if you're like me, just remember you are not alone.
All right, thank you. ascully.com is the place you can get this podcast. You can also go to Twitter, Facebook, Instagram. We're on all those. I'm A Scully. She's Sid Talk.
Correct.
You can also catch the podcast itself on Spotify, iTunes, Amazon, YouTube, anywhere that podcasts are available. Just search for After the Show Movie Podcast. You'll find it. You can email feedback to me at ascully@ascully.com. Don't email Sid Talk because she doesn't want your email.
I don't want your fuss.
And stay classy. Ant-Man, Mr. Paul Rudd. You know, stay classy. You get it, don't you? Anchorman.
Good. You're digging there on that one. Nice. And that's where it came from anyway.
It is.
Stay classy. San Francisco. San Diego.
Go fuck yourself.
Oh, God. There's your analyzed swear word for the day.
Yeah.
The AI will tell you.
Male host said one swear word.
And I'm going to say, think for yourselves, because if you don't do it, someone will do it for you.